Hi, today I'm going to share on Psalm 90 verses 1 to 12. Let me read it first. Lord, you have been our dwelling place throughout all generations. Before the mountains were born, or you brought forth the whole world. From everlasting to everlasting, you are God. You turn people back to dust, saying, return to dust, you mortal. 1,000 years in your sight are like a day that has just gone by, or like a watch in the night. Yet you sweep people away in the sleep of death. They are like the new grass of the morning. In the morning it springs up new, but by evening it is dry and withered. We are consumed by your anger and terrified by your indignation. You have set our iniquity before you, our secret sin in the light of your presence. All our day pass away under your wrath. We finish our years with a mourn. Our day may come to 70 years or 80 if our strength endure. Yet the best of them are but trouble and sorrow, for they quickly pass and we fly away. If only we knew the power of your anger, your wrath is as great as the fear that is your due. Teach us the number of days that we may gain a heart of wisdom. So Psalm 90 is the only psalm in the books of Psalm that's a credit to Moses. But that doesn't mean that Moses wrote only one poem in the Bible. Moses actually wrote two other poetry or poem. One's recorded in Exodus 15, 1 to 18. That's after the deliverance from Egypt. The second one is recorded in Deuteronomy 32, 1 to 43, before Moses died. The first one is a praise song for God's deliverance. The second one is a reminder of Israel history, the rebellious act, and of God's judgment against them. But Psalm 90 is the most touching and personal one. Some commentators describe Psalm 90 as the most somber of Moses' work. I guess because they talk about the reality that man must face that is getting old and die. Another commentator called this, give a title of Psalm 90 as the song of reality. If you do a Google search on life expectancy calculator, you'll see a list of websites can tell you when you will die, and some of them give you the number of seconds remaining in your life. Some say ask you a lot of questions about your health. Some say doesn't ask too many questions, just ask about your age, sex, and BMI, the body mass index, and then tell you the number of years you have left or the number of seconds you have left. So what Moses wants us to think when he wrote verse 12, teach us the number of days that we may get a heart of wisdom. For sure, Moses didn't want us to just count the number of days in our life. Besides, it's hard to count anyway because even using the fancy life calculator, expense calculator, no one knows for certain there is a tomorrow for us or not. What happened if we get in a car accident or a shooting incident? So when Moses asked God to teach us the number of days, he's asking God to remind us of the weakness of man, as mentioned in verses 3, 5 to 6, and 10. You turn people back to dust, saying, return to dust, you mortal. Yet you strip people away in the sleep of death. They are the new grass of the morning. In the morning it springs up new, but by evening it is dry and withered. Our day may come to 70 years or 80 if our strength endure. Yet the best of them are but trouble and sorrow, for they quickly pass and we fly away. So realization of our weakness or our shortness of life is the necessary step to truly understand God's wisdom. Like King David said in Psalm 39:4, show me, Lord, my life's end and the number of my days. Let me know how fleeting my life is. In fact, look at some statistic. This one from CDC, reported back in February 2021, last year. It said in 2020, the average life expectancy of a male in America, in the US, is 75.1 years. and for a female is 80.5 years, not much better than the time when Moses wrote Psalm 90. Even we can reach the age of 100, according to verse 4. Verse 4 says, 1,000 years in your sight are like a day that just gone by. In God's eye, 100 years of life is only 1/10 of a day, or 2.4 hours. In summary, life is short. So what we're going to do about it? There are few options that I can think of. One is we keep enjoying our time on earth as much as possible, make all the money we can, buy all the toys that we can afford, do all the things that we want to do. The second option is do nothing, life goes on as it is. And number 3 is make our life count by passing on the blessing that we receive from God to others. Be a channel of blessing, be a blessing, pass on our blessing received from God to bless others. Pass on the gospel that we heard, that we learned, that we got. Pass on our time to care for others. Pass on our resources, etc. Although life is short, but as Christian, we know that we have eternal dwelling place, as said in verse 1. As Moses said in verse 1, Lord, you have been our dwelling place for all generations. Notice Moses didn't say heaven is our eternal dwelling place, but the Lord himself is our dwelling place. God is the dwelling place for his people because he is a redeeming God. Although life is short because it's eternal, as Moses said in verse 2, before the mountain were born, or you brought forth the whole world, from everlasting, you are God. This verse reminds us that our God is above and beyond time of this world. We think of the Chinese history, we think of 3,500 years of history is long, but from God's perspective, it's only 3.5 days, or a relatively short time. God's eternal about the time that he created. So our prayer to God is to teach us how the number of days. We never learn that ourselves, only through the grace of God. We are not only ignorant, we left to ourselves, but we suppress the truth in unrighteousness. We try to convince ourselves that we have a long time to live, and as long as we're healthy, we really believe that we'll live forever in this body. We need a teacher. The only teacher who can rescue us from ourselves is God. That's all I have to share for today.